Welcome guys to the 6th lesson of this course, and in this lesson we will be creating game logic. So let's switch over to Unity and let's start by creating our LeadisBoard UI. So let's go to our canvas and then right click UI panel and let's name it game panel. Now remove the image component as we don't need that and parent our joystick under our game panel like this. Now create a new panel, name it info, remove the image component, move it above joystick, and then right click, create a new panel, and then change the anchor point to left corner, and then change the name to rank. Then select rank, press F to focus on the panel, and then click on 2D. Now let's scale it down to something like this. So this is where our scores will show up in this panel. Now we can remove the image component as we don't need that. Next, click on add component and add vertical layout group. Under spacing, do 10, child alignment, do middle center, and then make sure width and height is true. Now right click UI image and then change the color to something like gray so we can see what's going on, and then change the name to player, and then right click UI Text Mesh Pro, and this is going to be a rank label. So rank label, change the font asset to Futura bold, change the font size to auto size with minimum of 12 and maximum of 25. Change the alignment to this and this. Alright, now let's move it over here like this and change the scale to like that. Now duplicate and move it over here, scale it up, and this is going to be our name label. Next, duplicate it again, and this is going to be our score label. Let's move it over here. Alright, so once that is done, go ahead and duplicate it a few more times. Then select all of the objects and then name it player. Alright, so once this is done, go to our info panel and then right click UI Text Mesh Pro text, and this is going to be our timer label. So let's do timer label, and under the text let's do 1 minute 30 seconds. Change the font asset to Futura bold, change the font size to 80, and then change the color to something like this. Move it up over here, and then also make sure to change the anchor point to this one. Alright, so now let's go over to our scripts folder and then open up our play script. Let's create a few new variables. Public transform scorecard, public Text Mesh Pro, player name. Save the script, go back to Unity and go to our prefabs folder, select our character and click on open prefab. Let's create a player name. So right click, create empty object and call it player name, and add component Text Mesh Pro text. Let's add a random name called player. Let's rotate it to 180 degrees and change the alignment to middle and center like that, and then also reduce the font size to something like 4. Now go to extra settings and change the order in layer to 1. Let's move it up over here. Also go to font asset and then select Futura bold. Alright, so once that is done, go back and then open up our AI prefab and do the same over here. So I'm going to create a new empty object, call it player name, and then I'm going to go to my character object and copy the Text Mesh Pro component and go back to my AI object and paste this component. And then I'm going to go back to the character prefab, select the player name and copy the component and go to AI prefab and paste the values like that. Alright, so once that is done, go to our player script and drag and drop the player name over here under the player name variable like this, and then go to our character prefab, go to a player script and drag and drop the player name. Now let's go back to our scene and select our character, go down and under the scorecard go to canvas and drag and drop the top one over here like this, and then go to AI and then drag and drop the second one like this, third AI, third one like this, and do the same with the rest. Now once this is done, let's close this and open up our game manager script, and let's create few new variables. So public float timer, public text mesh pro. Okay, so first let's do using TM pro, and now let's do text mesh pro timer label. Let's go down in update function and let's do if game started, if timer is greater than 0, else game over. Let's create a new game over function, private void game over. Let's leave that blank for now, we'll come back to it in a bit. So let's go over here and let's do if timer smaller than or equal to 10 seconds and timer label dot color is not equal to red. We will set the color of the timer label equal to color dot red. Next let's do timer minus equal to time dot delta time, and then timer label dot text equal to int timer by 60 plus timer modulus 60, and so this returns the remainder. Next let's put all of this inside of a bracket like this, and then let's do toString 00. So it will always return the number as 2-digit number, so even if it's 4 seconds it won't return just 4, it will return 04. And after that let's do update scores. So let's create an empty function for that. So I'm going to copy this, paste it over here and update scores, and we'll come back to it in a bit. So for now let's save the script and go back to Unity. Go to our game manager and under the time label let's assign the timer label over here like this, and for the timer I'm going to set the value to 90. Feel free to set it whatever you guys want. Now let's hit play. Alright, so our timer is working. Now let's reduce the value below 10. It gets red. Perfect. So one thing that we need to fix now is the player name. It's turning with the player, but we don't want that. We want it always to be facing towards the camera. So let's fix that. So let's create a new script, and I'm going to call it look at cam. Open up the script. Let's start by deleting these unwanted lines, and let's do private transform cam and cam equal to camera domain dot transform, and let's change this update to late update function, and inside this let's do vector3 direction equal to transform dot position minus cam dot position, and then let's change this direction vector to our rotation. So let's do quaternion rotation equal to quaternion look rotation direction, and then we can simply do transform dot rotation equal to rotation. Save the script and go back to Unity, and then go to prefabs folder select our AI, click open prefab, go to a player name and click on add component, and then search for our look at camera script and then click on it. Next, go to our character prefab, click open prefab and do the same. So I'm going to add this to this prefab as well, and then let's go back and now let's hit play. Alright, so as you can see, it's no longer rotating with the player and it's always facing towards the camera. Perfect. Alright, so now let's go back to our game manager script and let's create a new function called private void setup player, and inside this let's create an array of int. So int index equal to 0 1 2 3 4 because we have 5 players in our game. After that, let's do system.random rnd equal to new system.random, and then we will create a random index array. So let's do int random index, and before we do anything else, let's go at the top and let's do using system.linkQ, because what we are going to do now requires linkQ functions. So let's do equal to index.order by x rnd.next.toArray. So this will return a randomized version of our index array. So for example, the index array is 0 1 2 3 4, but doing this might return something like 3 2 1 0 4. So basically it's just randomizing the values of our index array. Next, let's do a for loop. So for int I smaller than players.length I plus plus, and inside this let's do players I dot scorecard dot get component image. Alright, so before we do anything else, let's go on the top and let's do using unity engine dot UI. Then let's go down and let's do dot color equal to, and now we will assign a random color to our player. So for that we need to create a variable. So let's do public color, and this is going to be an array, and let's do player colors, and let's go down and over here let's do player colors dot I. Alright, now let's go down and let's do players I dot scorecard dot transform dot get child 0 dot get component text mesh pro dot text equal to I plus 1 plus. So this is the rank label. So if we go back to our character, for example, go to the scorecard, as you can see the first child is the rank label. Next, let's copy this line and paste it here, and instead of doing get child 0, let's do get child 1, and this is going to be our player name. So for now we will just set a random name. So I'm going to do random names random.range 0 comma random names .length. Now let's create a variable called random names. So go on the top and let's do public string, and this is going to be a array, and then random names. Let's go down, then capital N. There we go. Now let's just copy this and paste it down, and instead of get child 1, let's do get child 2, and this is going to be a score. So the starting score is going to be 0, so let's just do. Alright, after that let's go down and create a reference for our player material. So let's do material player mat equal to players I dot transform dot get child, because if you go to a player you will see that the first child has the mesh renderer on it. Same with our AI. So let's do get child dot get component skinned mesh renderer dot material. Now once we have our reference to our material, let's set the color. So player mat dot color equal to, we'll simply copy this and paste it over here like that. And then after that, let's do players.i.playerName equal to same thing over here. Actually, this is going to return a random name again. So let's set the name in a variable. So let's do string name equal to this. And now we can simply copy the name and paste it over here and do the same over here. Actually, player name.text. All right, now let's save the script and go back to Unity, and let's go to our game manager, and over here let's assign a few colors. And under our random names, let's assign some random names. Now let's hit play. Alright, so it's not working. Okay, let's go back to our script and let's see what's up. Okay, so I forgot to call this function. So let's copy the name and paste it inside a start function like this. And now let's hit play. Perfect. As you can see, the names are here, the colors are here, and it seems to be working fine. One more thing that we need to do is change the color of the names. So let's go back to our script. Let's go down, and over here let's copy this line, go down and change the text to color, and copy this part and paste it over here. Save the script, go back to Unity, and let's hit play. Perfect. So as you can see, now the names are matching the same color as on the scorecard. So now we are going to create a small database with random gamer tags. So for that, let's go and create a new script. Right click, C# script, and I'm going to call this script name manager. Open up the script. Let's delete these unwanted lines and create a new array of string. So public string array names equal to, and let's create the random names. So let's go to our web browser and then go to Google and then search gamer tags, and then we can simply open up all these sites, scroll down. Alright, so as you can see, it has random names, but it also has these descriptions, so we don't really want these. You can copy from over here. So let's open up a new tab and open up editpad.org. You can simply paste it in your text editor, whatever you want. I'm just going to use this, so I'm just going to copy all these and till over here, paste it here. Next, I'm going to this website. I'm going to copy all the names, paste here, copy, paste, go on this website, copy, copy some more. Alright, so once you have enough names, open up a new tab and search for online delimiter, and then go to delim.co. So this is a cool website, and what you can do is copy all the names that you have collected and paste it over here, and then click on this. So what this will do is it will separate all the names by commas, but what we really want is we want them to have these quotes as well. So what we can do is click on converter settings and go down, and then click on attack the clones and click yes. So it removes all the clones if there are any, and then under the quotes click on double and then click on this arrow again, so it will return So it will return us this, and this is what we want. So select all and copy and go to our script and paste it over here like this. Now let's save the script and go back to Unity. Now next, let's create a new empty object and call it name manager, and let's assign a script. And now you can see we have 434 different names. Perfect. Now let's go to our game manager and open up our game manager script. Let's delete this variable and create a new one. So public name manager script, and let's go down, and over here let's do name manager script dot names random dot range 0 name manager script dot names dot length. Now let's go back to our Unity and drag and drop the name manager over here, and let's hit play. So as you can see, our players have random names. Alright, so now let's go back to our game manager script and let's create the update scores functionality. So first I'm going to create a new variable called private list of player, call it sorted list, equal to new list player. Alright, now let's go down to our update scores function, and over here let's do sorted list dot clear, and then let's create a dictionary transform int, and this is going to be our unsorted dictionary, equal to new dictionary. After this, let's do a for each loop for each player p in players. We will do unsorted dictionary add p dot transform and p dot score. After that, let's do another for each loop for each var item in unsorted dictionary order by descending I dot value. Let's do sorted list dot add item dot key. Alright, so there is a problem. Okay, so item key returns a transform and sorted list is a list of player object. So let's change this to transform. Right, let's go down again. So what's happening over here is basically we're ordering the players based on their scores in descending order and then adding their transform to our sorted list. So after this, let's do a for loop for int I equal to 0, I smaller than players dot length, I plus plus, and inside this loop let's set a reference to our player script. So let's do player temp player script equal to sorted list I dot get component player. Now we need to update the position of the player scorecard in the leaderboard. So let's do temp player script dot scorecard dot set sibling index to I, and after that let's set the rank label. So let's do temp player script dot scorecard dot get child 0, get component text mesh pro UGUI dot text equal to I plus 1 plus. So this will set the rank position label. Now let's save the script and go back to Unity and let's hit play. Alright, so our scores are not updating, so let's go to our script again and let's do that now. Let's copy this line, paste it over here, and let's do 2 as the score label is the third child. And over here let's do temp player script dot score, and before that let's add a dash. So let's do that, save the script, and let's go back to Unity and let's hit play. Alright, so it is working as expected. So let's create a logic for the player. Whoever is in the first position will have a crown on its head. So for this, first we need a crown model. So I have already created the model. You guys can simply import it by going to the Hyper Casual Game Course asset folder and then going to lesson 6 folder and then importing the crown package. Then go to prefabs folder, click on AI, click on open prefab. And now let's go to Hyper Casual Game Course folder, go to crown, go to prefabs and drag and drop the crown prefab on our AI. Now let's adjust the position. Let's scale it down a bit. And let's move the player name up a bit, like that. Alright, now let's select our crown and click and copy the component, and then go to our prefabs folder and open up our character prefab. And then place the crown prefab into our scene like this. Then I'm just going to paste the component values and then move the player name up to 2.5. Now let's select our crown and deactivate it. So by default it's going to stay inactive, and do the same with our AI prefab. Alright, now let's go back to our scene and open up our game manager script, and over here let's do if player, let's do if I equal to 0, players I dot crown dot set active true. Now let's go to a player script and create the crown variable. So I'm going to go here and create a new variable called public game object crown. Save the script, go back to Unity, open up the AI prefab. Actually, first we need to fix this. Set active, save the script, go back to Unity, and assign our crown prefab. Now do the same with our character prefab. Go back to our game manager script, and over here let's do else. We will set the crown object to false. Let's save the script, go back to Unity, and let's hit play. Alright, so as you can see it's working fine, but the crown is not moving with the head, so it looks kind of odd. So we can easily fix that. So open up our character prefab, click on open prefab, and then open up the rig, go to head, go to items, and let's move the crown under the item like this, and then do the same with the AI prefab. Open up the rig and move the crown under the items. Alright, now let's hit play. Alright, so as you can see now it's moving with the head, but there is a problem that even though I'm not a first player, the crown is still active. So let's go to our script and let's see why is that. So let's delete this part and go over to our update scores function, and over here let's do if I equal to 0. Let's do temp player script dot crown dot set active true, else we'll set it to false. Let's save the script and go back to Unity, and let's hit play. So as you can see now, the blue player is at the top and he has the crown, and then the black player went at the top and now it has the crown. Perfect. Alright, so now let's create the game over logic. Let's do game started equal to false, and then let's go to a player script and let's create a new function, public void stop. Parameter is going to be a boolean one. Over here let's stop everything, so let's do particle system dot emission module em equal to trail effects dot emission em dot enabled equal to false, anim dot set bool run false, active equal to false, and then let's do if one anim dot set bool one equal to true, else let's paste it over here and let's do lost equal to true. Alright, so now let's save the script and go back to our game manager script, and here let's do a for loop. So let's do for int I equal to 0, I smaller than sorted list dot count I plus plus. Inside this let's do if I equal to 0 sorted list dot get component player dot stop, and 1 is going to be true because the first player in the list is the player with the highest score, and else it's going to be false. Alright, so now let's save the script and go back to Unity and let's hit play. So I'm going to set the timer to 5 to speed up the process, and let's see. So as soon as the game stops, all the characters stop and the player who has the crown is doing this winning pose. There's a problem. My trail effects is still working. So let's go back to our script and see why is that happening. Alright, so let's move active equal to false at the top, and over here let's do if is AI nav dot enabled equal to false, else speed equal to 0. Let's save the script and go back to Unity, and now let's hit play. Alright, so I'm going to reduce the timer to 5 to speed up the process, and let's see. Alright, so as you can see, everybody stopped and the one with the crown is doing the winning pose. Perfect. Next, what I'm going to do is add a logic so that even if the player, say for example, this is the winning player and he's on the side, we want the camera to focus on him. So as soon as the game ends, the camera will focus on this player. So let's do that. So let's go to our game manager script, go on the top, and over here let's do private camera cam, and another one private cam follow script, and in the start function let's do cam equal to camera domain, and cam follow script cam dot get component cam follow. Alright, and then in game over function over here let's do cam follow script dot target equal to sorted list dot I. Let's save the script and go back to Unity, and now let's hit play. So let's change the timer to 10 and let's try to stay out of the zone so somebody else wins the game. So as you can see, this player won the game and now our camera is focused on this player, but there is one problem that it just snapped and we don't really want that. We want a smooth transition. So let's do that. So I'm going to go to my scripts folder and open up my camera follow script. And over here, I'm going to create a new function, public void focus on winner. And the parameter is going to be transform winner, and let's do using dg.tweening, and let's create a new variable called private bool game over, and over here let's do game over equal to true, and over here let's do if it's not game over. So this will stop as soon as this function is called. And over here we can do target equal to winner and transform.doMove target.position minus offset within 0.5 seconds. Alright, so let's save the script and go back to our game manager script, and over here let's do dot focus on winner and pass in sorted list .i. Save the script and go back to Unity, and now let's hit play. Now let's go to our game manager and let's change the timer to 10. Let's hit play. Perfect. It's working fine. Alright guys, so we have finished working on our game logic, and in the next lesson we will be working on creating the UI and user interface. So see you then guys. Cheers.